File system would not be complete without the ability to create your own files. So let's go ahead and import Dart.io. And we're going to make some functions here. Okay, let's flesh out the write file function first. When you write a file, you can either append or write to the file. The difference is kind of subtle, but very profound. Append will append to the end of the file, where write will completely erase the file and start over. We want to work with what's called a random access file. It's an old term that really means you can access the file from anywhere within the file. Think of it like a giant filing cabinet. You can open it up and then pick and choose anywhere in the file you want. First thing we want to do is call OpenSync, and notice how it has a file mode. We're going to say mode equal file mode dot append. Now we want to call write string sync, and you can see there's different write functions. There's write string sync, write string asynchronous, write from sync, write from. Now this is a list. You can simply give it a list with a type. In the example here they have integers, but it could be strings or pretty much anything else. You may get errors if it doesn't know how to handle that type. That is why integers are preferred. All right, and then you can write byte sync or write byte asynchronous. We're going to stick with the synchronous. All right, looking at this code, there's some things going on here. First, we create a random access file. We open it with a specific mode. In this case, we're append, meaning it's going to keep the file's contents and keep writing to it over and over again. Then we're going to actually write string sync, and we're just going to write this string. And there's a couple things going on here. First, we have hello, and then we have how are you today? And we have these special characters in here, /r/n. These are escape sequences. /r is a hard return, /n is a new line. This is going to basically make it look like two different lines. Then we have flush sync and close sync. You should note flush sync really is not needed because close calls flush in the background. Think of flush, disgusting I know, as a giant toilet. You're throwing everything into the toilet and you want to flush it down into the system. File access works with a buffer. A buffer is just that. It's a little section of memory. When you're putting information into the file, it may not get written to the disk immediately. Therefore, you have to flush it down. Close calls flush, but we're going to just show it here for illustrative purposes. All right, now we want to actually read the file back. So we're going to say if the file does not exist, then we want to do something. And here we want file.readAsStringSync. Now we want to read the actual bytes out of here. And just because I'm kind of a stickler, let's make that a lowercase. And we're just going to print that value out. So what's going on here is we're saying read the file. If it does not exist, then file not found, and just exit right out of this function. Then we're just going to print out reading string, and we're going to actually read as strings synchronously. Then we're going to read the bytes, and we're going to get a list of integers from the read as byte sync. And then we're just going to say values for each, and then we're just going to print out each value. And let's actually do it this way. So we're just going to make a text file in the current directory. First thing we want to do is call write file, and then read file. Going to expand out a directory structure. Because we're doing this current directory, it should show up in our IDE here. You can see how we now have the myfile.txt, and if we open this up, it says, "Hello world, how are you today?" We've written that file, and we've read it back. And then we've read the individual bytes. These are all the bytes in here. Strings are a little bit different under the hood. What we're not seeing is there's an additional item in here called 0, which really, if we looked at this string, would be /0. It's removed by default from the operating system. You never see it, but that's how the operating system determines the end of the string. So you don't have to worry about links when it comes to strings. Now, because this is append, let's run this a few times. If we scroll up, we can see that we've got it over and over and over and over. And let's open the file back up, and you can see here it is. This is what append mode does. It just keeps putting it at the end of the file. Where if we were to switch this to write mode and run it again, you would see that all the appends that we have done are now gone. It just completely erased the file and wrote to it. That's the difference between append and write.